How you doing, boss?
Not too bad, not too bad.
This is your boy. So, with the legend, SIMUKOKO himself. How you doing, boss?
Not too bad, not too bad.
So,
Oracle Praxis.
Yeah, that's the way we go. So, Jimmy and I have been friends now for close to 13 years. He's like my brother. We always do creative stuff together, and we've been doing stuff for years. I mean, I think the first thing we worked on was what's his name's video again?
Red One's Wake Up music video.
So we did Red, and then from there we did Bride of Coco, and then my favorite, I don't know if it was By Felicia or there's one we did with green screen and blue back. I don't know if
that was By Felicia, yeah.
I think that was one of the best videos. I think one of my favorite videos you've ever made. And you were stressed with me throughout that, and I thought the work itself was epic. I don't even know. I don't even have a copy of it. I don't know what happened to it, but By Felicia was like.
It's still up there. It's still on YouTube. It's still being played. Hopefully, after all this time as well.
Yeah, it's still an amazing piece of work. So, I'm told now that firstly, just a bit of a plug. He's released his first book. He's moved into poetry. You can get his book. Hopefully, in this same link, there'll be an Amazon link where you can actually get his amazing book. But tell me about this new space you're in, where you have taken your hip hop, grime, London into poetry now. Your London stuff, all the stuff you're doing, and you're bringing it to a whole new audience in West Wales. Tell us about all of that.
Well, I'm just bringing what I know for the music side of things in the city and bringing it down to West Wales, where hopefully I can get people interested in that side of things and the creative side of things, and hopefully get them rhyming and writing. There's not very much of it down there, so hopefully it just inspires them a little bit more to get involved in that department, you know.
So what's the biggest shift in what you're doing now in terms of when you would rhyme for hip-hop and this time when you would rhyme? Oh, by the way, this is not an ad for Costa, it's just the Costa.
No, it's just there.
Anyway, so what's the difference between the rhyming you're doing and the rhyming you would do for hip-hop? What's the flavor? What translates across? What doesn't?
Well, mainly with the group, it's all mainly team building. So we usually do it clockwise around the room. So we'll try and make a story out of something and hopefully make it rhyme. So it's everybody's input, it's not just me and what I say. So it could be really random. Like I'd say, I'm sitting here with Sol. You just make it rhyme with Sol if you could, but then you go.
So for example, I would say, and he's moving out the door.
Yeah, and he's walking through the floor.
Yeah, I kind of get that. Yeah. So just to make it clear, you actually are holding classes, even though, according to you, you have moved to a different location now.
Yeah, I was in the DDAS building, the Dover Drug and Alcohol Services building, helping people there with their addictions and stuff like that. So we had volunteers coming in who were getting creative, and it was helping them get off alcohol and substances instead of people who go to that building on bail conditions and other reasons for what, you know, most of the clientele that go there are. But that's not worked out now, so now I'm renting a room in the Haver Hub. That'll only be a fortnightly basis, but because it's summertime, we might as well do something out in the sunshine anyway, so that'll be cheaper for me instead of paying the fees from what it is.
If it's sunny, you can always just figure out a new space. Yeah, and how do you think poetry helps people who are going through drug and addiction process out of those spaces?
Well, I think it keeps them sharp and it keeps them doing something and writing and rhyming and getting things off their chest and off their mind, so it's therapy for them. I think they need that niche, and it keeps them off. It keeps them on the straight and narrow, you know. There was a good website I used to tell people to join, which was Deep Underground Poetry, darkundergroundpoetry.com. That's been taken off because of the whole AI movement and stuff, I believe, you know. So, but I've been on that since like 2009, and then this year it's been taken offline. But I think
because people were busy using AI to write their poetry,
and it was all just cheating in it instead of, you know, people's actual creative side of work, so they've taken that off. But a lot of the people's work that were on there, you can see You know, there's all categories. They had like erotic, they had anger, they had like self poems, fiction, non-fiction, all sorts of things. But you know, people, if they're depressed, they can get and spill that all down onto paper instead of taking it out on themselves.
Let me
physically.
promise you this. I have about 100 servers on the web, and if you want me to build you a version of that, and you are willing to trust people, I promise you that we can have a discussion where I can find you some web space for very little, and we can create an interactive where people can sign up and do that type of thing if you want, and we can have a blog where people can submit poetry. The only difference would be is they'll submit it to you, you review it, and you can post it if you
Put
want.
it on the site, is it?
Yeah, we could do that. It could be called, what was the name of your book?
Rhyme Watch UK.
And it can be called rhymewatchuk.uk. Actually, it can be called rhymewatch.uk if you want.
Rhymewatch.uk.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Yeah, so we could do things like that. Well, a couple of questions before. Do you have any success stories? Is there any people you know who've been through your system who you can see that because of poetry, you can
Help
see,
them out.
yeah, you've seen a positive change in their life?
Oh, 100%, yeah. I mean, there's a lot of people who write a lot of poetry who are going through problems and things like that. So, you know, they're spilling rhymes and lyrics down constantly. They don't always have a platform to produce it or have it recorded on an MP3 and stuff, or always a stage to perform it live, but they're constantly writing and rhyming it out, you know. Yeah.
Well, if you ever do want to host an event where you can do a poetry night, let me know. I'll see if I can help you do one in this area, in this Swansea area, because there's a lot of creative stuff we're doing. So yeah, so to give it a close, how can people find you? I know we've said down below, there's either, depending on where you're watching it from, if it's on Instagram or whatever it is, you will find a way to get your book. But how can they get in contact with you? How can they get involved? And how can they bring you to their city? Is there any contact, any handles? How can they find you?
Your business cards. I've just made some done last week, actually. They didn't
Yeah, but right now,
there's Instagram.
Is there an email? And can they message you, anything like that?
Yeah, there's a few. There's my Hotmail, JCLOWKO @hotmail.kizam.com, and on Instagram it's Jimmy Coco, one word, JIMICOCO. Or just look up JC Logo on the Facebook and drop us an inbox on there. They know how to start.
It's good to see that you've continued. You've been doing this maybe 15 years plus now, and it's good to see that you are evolving and you're constantly, and you don't give up. And I think that's what I like about you and our brother Cyrus. You don't give up on the movement. You don't give up on and I hope that we can work together. I've been doing a lot of stuff with the choir in Cardiff.
Nice.
So for those of you who want to check it out, it's Soul Music, SOEL Music. We've been dropping a lot of things.
Soul Music, check it out.
Yeah, I'm also working with a rapper from actually not far from where you're from. He's from Hertford West area.
Okay.
Who I've just shot his video.
Where did you shoot that down?
I shot it down in Cardiff actually. There's a guy called Elijah Retro.
Okay.
We're just about to drop his first video and his first album. It's being dropped by Great Tree Records.
Nice.
Also, one last plug is I'm working with an artist from the US, North Carolina, near the Charlotte area. He just dropped his album called, I think last year we just finished, I co-produced his album called Untitled. It's called Kobe J Untitled, an amazing album, one of my favorite hip hop albums I've ever been involved with. So still in the grind, still making music, and yeah, I mean, check out my stuff. I've done stuff. I've worked with Grammy-nominated artists from Gospel Gangsters. I've worked with so many different people. And
what was it, Gospel Gangsters?
Yeah, the Gospel Gangsters. I've worked with those. I've worked with Dove-nominated artists like Lil Rascal. Written with them, and so I'm still writing, still into hip-hop, loads of gospel, but yeah, it's good to be with you. Thank you very much.
Is it still Oracle Praxis?
I am still Oracle Praxis. You can actually email me at solomon@oraclepraxis.com, and yeah, just keep it moving,
Rhyme Watch UK.
Yeah. How was that?